happy Sunday, good afternoon, and you're welcome to watch me today. I want to pass a very short message to most people back home. And the people I'm talking about now are like the young unmarried men or young unmarried women back home, back in Nigeria, back in Africa. It can be any country, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be emphasizing on Nigeria. Now, if you are a young man or a young woman who is not married, I would advise you do not promise anybody marriage. If you want to relocate abroad, if you want to relocate to any country outside of Nigeria, like relocate, when I mean relocate, move finally, not to go on holidays and come back, or not to go for your studies, or just a short trip. No, if you are thinking of living in the long term, I would advise you don't promise anybody marriage back home. Now, I'm talking to the category of people that are planning to live without a concrete plan. If you know you are not coming, you're not traveling out as a student, that's if you have not gotten your student visa from back home. If you know you're not going with your work permit, that is, if you don't have a work visa, a work permit from Nigeria or from wherever you're leaving from. If you know you have not, you are not married, maybe your husband or your wife is not outside the country and you're going to meet them. If you don't fall into any of these categories, because these are the categories where it is certain that you are traveling outside, you are leaving your country with your visa. It is certain, it is sure you already have that visa in your hand. So you are leaving, it's easier for you. If you don't fall into any of these categories and you're just assuming that, okay, let me travel, when I get there, I will start working for my papers. If you do not fix these cases, these problems from home, don't promise anybody marriage. Because coming here, especially the UK, now I know that some of the things that applies here in UK, I'm very, very sure it's not so different from what you will see in some other countries, especially some other European countries. It's not so different. So if you're thinking you're coming over, that when you get here, you start sorting out your visa papers, your documents, and then you will now go home and marry that person, or you will now go home and do whatever it is, or you will now send for the person. My brother, my sister, it is not as easy as that. Here in the UK, visa problem is a prayer point on its own. There are lots of people that have been here for years. When I mean years, I'm talking about not less than 7 years. A lot of people have been here for years. 7 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years. No documents, no paper. They're just hiding around. They cannot travel home. The people they have promised marriage back home, they are there waiting, expecting this man here or this woman here to come back and fulfill their promise. And when it's not forthcoming, you start thinking the person has fooled you. Now, let me give you a very, very clear scenario. Just imagine a story of a man who was dating a woman in Nigeria. And then along the line, this woman got pregnant and she had a son for this man. And because things were bad back home, the man told the woman, you know what? Let me relocate. Let me go outside this country. Let me go and seek for greener pastures. I will work. Then when I get some money, I will now send for you to come and join me. And the woman said, okay, no problem. And the man went to UK. Many years back. I'm talking about nothing less than 11 years now. He's been in the UK. Document he didn't see. Go home now and marry the woman. He can't go. Because the shame that he's going to Nigeria and he's not sure he's going to come. Because if you don't have your papers or your documents, once you leave the country, you cannot return. So that is the situation a lot of people have found themselves now. The documents they don't have. Travel, they can't travel. And the bad thing about this whole picture is that the person you have promised marriage or whatever back home will never understand how difficult it is. No matter how much you try to explain, they will never understand. It is only when you live here that you will know exactly what it is. You know the pain, the torture. You know how hard it is to get your documents. Like I said, here, getting your document alone is a prayer point. That one there's a special prayer point for that one. People fast and pray. People do all manner of things just to get it. You know, sometimes it will just sound like, no be just paper, no be just document. It's not as easy as that. Especially when you don't have a concrete plan. And you know the funniest thing? It is even more difficult for single men and single women without children. When there is even children involved, it's kind of softens this, the situation. Your life is a bit soft because the government has this sympathy, they have this soft spot for children. So when you have a child involved, even if you don't have your papers, life is a bit, on the easy side. You can still survive because of that child you have. But imagine when there's no child, it is just you as a single man or just you as a single woman. And you have already promised one sisi back home or one bobo back home. Let me just run to UK, and it might not happen as fast as you think. Then what happens to the person you have promised back home? There are lots of issues. There are stories I've heard, like the story of the man I was just talking about that promised a woman back home, the woman that has a child for him. He promised this woman, let me just run to UK, make some money, I will come and send for you and all that. And it is getting to 11, 12, 13 years now. He has not gone back home. Meanwhile, this woman got very angry and so pained. She feels like she's been used and dumped. This woman now started praying all manner of bad prayer for this man, because all her mind is telling her that, this man used her and dumped her and is married to a white woman. But she doesn't know the pain, the stress this man is going through here. She doesn't know what it takes for this man to survive, because if you don't have documents, you don't have your paper, you cannot have a reasonable job. You can't have a really good, decent job that will pay you through your bills and all those hefty bills on your head. The kind of jobs you'll be having is all these backyard job, black jobs that people will take you for granted. People will take advantage of you because they know you don't have the right documents. So they will give you any job and pay you anything. And you don't have a right to complain, because in the first place, when you even complain to the authority, you are reporting yourself indirectly that you don't have paper. So why do you work? You are reporting yourself indirectly. You are putting yourself in trouble. So that's why you see a lot of people just manage anything, manage any job that comes into their hand, as long as they can just eat, as long as they can just survive. You see a lot of people sleeping around in the bus stations, in the train stations, sleeping. They will enter one bus. They will follow the bus from the first stop to the last bus stop just because they want to have, at least 5 or 10 minutes sleep in that bus, because they have not slept all night. So they just keep moving from bus stations to bus station, looking for the bus that has the longest route. So they will sit inside and rest, close their eyes for a while and have a little rest. That is how hard it is. So that's why I said, if you do not have a concrete plan on how to relocate to the UK, and then how to stand on your feet immediately you get here, how to earn a decent income, it is not advisable for you to promise anybody back home anything. This is not only for the men, even for the women. Before you relocate, if you have a man there that you are very serious with, you have to sit down and talk things out. You have to sit down and let him realize that, man, where I am going to is a strange land. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get my documents. I don't know, okay, what if I can't get it within so and so time? What happens? You guys should have to sit down and discuss. It might be a very difficult situation or a difficult topic, But it is something you should definitely put into consideration, because a lot of people have felt used, a lot of people have felt dumped, a lot of people have felt deceived. That you just, promised you're going to marry them and you went abroad and you sat down there, you didn't remember them. They don't really understand what it takes to get these papers. Getting the documents abroad is not a joke. It's not a child's play. It is tough, especially UK. They are very, very stingy with their documents here. You must have a reasonable, when I mean reasonable, that is the reason, the reason must be reasonable. You must have a reasonable reason to get their paper here. So if you were just leaving from anywhere thinking, oh, let me enter UK within the next 1-2 years, I will get my paper and I will do this one and I will send for you. I wish you all the best. I really wish you all the best. And then this goes for the married couples too, the ones that, okay, they are married back home and then maybe the man could say, let me go abroad and look for money and then I will come and I will send for you. Or it's almost the same scenario. The only thing about yours is that you're already married. So, I mean, whatever you see from it, you take it like that, because you won't break up your marriage because, the man is not there, in the long run, or the man is absent from the marriage, or because the woman is absent from the marriage for a while. You won't break up your home. So you're in it. But I'm talking about those that are yet to go into it. That before you get into it, this is what you should know. That having a document in UK especially is not an easy task. So for you to even come in here, if you have those means of already getting it from home, like I said, if you are coming through your maybe school, you're coming to school in the UK, you already have your school student visa. That's a very good one, because as you're coming to the UK with your student visa, you are even entitled to come in with your partner. You're entitled to come in with your husband or your wife or your children. You are entitled to come in with your family. So that one is certain. If you're also coming in with your work permit, you are entitled to come in with your family. If you are coming in as a husband or a wife, of anyone that lives in the UK that is fully resided in the UK with documents that are legally living here, that is a pass mark for you. But if you're just coming into the UK, you don't have any of these papers, you just come in, and then you are now promising somebody back home, don't worry, I'm going very soon, I will come back. It's better you tell the person where you stand initially, so that if the person is already entering menopause, let the person know exactly what other option she will take. And if the man is, maybe you're living back home, feels, well, no, maybe I'm the first son of my family, I need to give them a grandchild soon, let him know what next, the alternative plan for himself. Because you might come into the UK and you will spend nothing less than 6 to 7 years before you get your documents. That is the reality. And every year in the UK, the laws change. They change every year. In fact, it's like they change. Unofficially, the laws change every day, but officially they change every year. Like now that because of this Ukraine and Russia stuff, the UK is accepting refugees from Ukraine. All these processes now makes it a little bit more difficult to grant visa to anybody that is not even from Ukraine now. Because the focus now is for people from Ukraine. If you have seen over the news, you will discover that UK have suspended their visa policy and everything to people in Nigeria that are coming in for studies and work visa and all that. There are different scenarios where it kind of delays other people's opportunities. Like this one. So if you're coming into the UK in a time like this, when the UK is already giving their focus, their time and their energy to a country that is fleeing from war and persecution at this time, their focus is on them, not on you, that you don't have like any genuine reason or anything concrete to be here. So that's why I said, if you have promised anybody, to avoid curses back later in future, to avoid somebody carrying your name from one juju house to the other or one prayer house to the other, thinking you have used and dumped her or used and dumped him. To avoid making somebody feel that, you have left him or left her to go and marry your Igbo man. Because it is not so easy here. So that's just the plain truth. Before you relocate, it's always good you know what to expect in the country where you are going to. So that's my 2 cents for today. I just said I should let you know so that somebody's daughter or somebody's son will not start carrying your name up and down in the name of you used and dumped me. Take care.